I've been looking around. I've been looking around for copies of it, but I mean, it's been slow going out there on those torrent streets. So yeah. Yeah, in history. Yeah, this was up. All right, we got Nate up in here. All right, I'm ready to rock. Hold on, let me make sure Nate is in good and comfy and all that. Make sure he good and taken care of. I was like, brother like me ain't going to no theater. So, what's up, Nate? All right, cool. He was like, it's a look. Oh man.
Charging.
Late ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, NERDSoul on screen. We're chilling. We are talking about Captain America, the new Black Falcon, and Winter Soldier.
That's what it is.
I'm joined by some awesome people. First on satellite phone, coming into us straight from Venus, your one and only dynamic duo of the South representative, Mr. Cooper.
I don't know about Venus, but I'm not quite, outside the states, but I am closer to the ocean this week. I'm on site in Mobile, Alabama, going to the beach tomorrow, getting some sun. We're gonna have some fun.
All right, okay.
Right.
And on the shrimp boat, on the brand new shrimp boat, or the newly revitalized shrimp boat.
Party shrimp boat.
Diagonal
Jenny,
square. Oh no.
Oh no, no.
In the diagonal square. In the diagonal square, you know him as the cinematic sorcerer. Solar Gray, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Out there is the Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from outside the Wizard's Tower today. I got to recharge a little bit because it ain't just a name. So I'm here to say thank you guys for showing up. We are here to talk about some really good stuff. And if anybody tells you that this ain't your thing because of the circumstances of your birth, you just tell them to put that card back in the deck.
Girl, I love that every time you say it. I love it.
All right, bottom square. You know this man as the invincible connoisseur.
Captain America.
Yeah, I know. And you also know. I know he got his shield. We're gonna get to that. All right, so and you also know him from the Lovecraft Country shows way back. All right, when we was getting into tentacles and all kinds of stuff. All right.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Cthulhu for talking.
Nate Miller, what's up?
Yo, excited to be here. I've been following along with your coverage as you've been going on. So I have some people that kind of, bounce my ideas off of. And I told Mike, look, when that finale comes, you better hit me with that link, bro. I'm coming in here.
Coming in hot.
But yeah, I'm excited. This was it was a show.
It was a show.
It was a show.
Now, last but not
That
least.
show.
Don't.
Last but not least. Futurist. Philanthropist. Tech giant. Humanitarian. Nobel Peace Prize award winning.
Ambassador to the GRC.
Clement Bryant.
Man, you come straight out of a comic book. What?
Sammy Davis Jr.'s top dance student.
Wow.
You too. So, you too. Anyway, let's get into it. I have a lot of thoughts. I got a motor soon. I gotta buy a keyboard. Keyboard's out, so we gotta get this going. Let's do it.
Yeah, he'll be performing tonight, so he'll have his keyboard.
I'm gonna watch Mortal Kombat tonight. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, all right, you're going to set it off. How are you feeling about this episode?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked a lot. There was a lot to like about this episode, but like as it got through it to the end, there was a lot kind of like structurally that was a little off. But like overall, I did dig seeing a Black Captain America in the MCU. I think that can't be stated enough, and I think it's really important to state. But like, there were some things like the Flag Smasher's motivation. As you kind of went through the whole show, it got muddied about what exactly they were fighting for. The reveal.
I guess I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, the reveal of Sharon the Power Broker was kind of, man, I was expecting a lot more like.
But you called that one.
Yeah, I did. But I thought
you called that.
A lot more like, I guess, attention around it. It was just kind of like, hey, Power Broker, bye. But overall, I really dug what they did with the show, and if anybody doesn't know, now we have Captain America 4 in development, so I'm really excited how that kind of continues. But
word up. Mr. Cooper, what are your thoughts just coming out of the episode?
Look, coming out of this episode, I am proud of what they did. Might have had some cheesy moments or some clunky moments, but overall, this episode gets probably a lower A, B plus. Series gets an A, and as a Black man from South Louisiana, it definitely touches my heart. Just to see, just to get some positivity down here, I'll take it. But yes, to see a Black Captain America, to see that, a character you wouldn't think that they would actually go through and do the Sam Wilson version of Captain America, and actually see a comic book accurate suit. I think it looks better in flight than it does with him standing there. Something about the headpiece just didn't quite fit right, but it still was cool. And everything with Isaiah Bradley, man, just a beautiful thing to see.
All right. Mr. Gray, how you feeling?
Well, how do I feel about the finale or the show overall?
The finale right now. We talk about the
finale. I gotta give this finale. This finale gets seriously a straight flush from me. How can I put it? Watching it, and I've watched it 3 times. I know that half of me is going, "You're such a rube. They made this for you, and you just eating it all up." And I'm like, I know. I'm just eating a spoonful. Give me more. But the educated part of me has to say that the pacing on this, I thought, was really rushed. I thought they gave more. I think they gave time to all of the epilogues that should have been given to slowing the pace of the rest of the episode. Now, there are things I liked about it and things I loved about it. And there really wasn't anything I didn't like about it. I was told when I was very young that a good movie has 3 good scenes and 2 great ones. And the action scenes, great. The illustration as to why Sam Wilson is Captain America, not John Walker. He's Captain Whiskey. All right. Not Bucky, because he's Captain those parts of America that you don't tell tourists about. you
Oh.
know. but with Sam Wilson, it really did a lot to drill in what Stanley Tucci's character said in the first movie with the what's important isn't that you're a good soldier, is that you stay a good man. And they showed
Mhm.
that scene after scene after scene after scene. Did I cheer? Yes. Did I cry like my diaper needed changing? Um and did I get up and cheer a couple of times? I'm not gonna lie. So all in all, with that stuff, I think they could have spent a lot more time on hashing out more of those moments that made me cheer and cry and laugh, and less time on the Return of the King style multiple epilogues. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Nate, where you come in on this?
Well, I'm glad I got to go last. Um,
I was hoping to, but you know.
I think this is definitely the best episode in the season, but I also think that like I don't know. I think Solar hit the nail on the head of like there's so much time that they spent. It was like there was like a checklist of things that needed to be done, and they just the last episode was just like checking all the checklists. The overall pacing of this
That's it.
season, and this is why I said earlier, like it's a show. It's really tough for me because look, I remember when Cap died in the comic books, and then it was Bucky, and then for a time it was Sam, and I remember being like, holy crap, they actually gave Sam the mantle. Um, and so I have a lot of emotional, personal connection with this stuff too. And I've seen the MCU movies. That's my jam. But I feel like I don't know. It just something was just off. It was like when you have a bunch of like really great pieces and parts,
Okay.
and like for some reason, just the way it was put together was just not right. Especially coming after WandaVision, which like set the bar so high for the expectation of like these Disney originals. Like this one, it felt to me, it felt like almost like they made this a movie and they just they edited it really weird into a series and then added some scenes to make it work as a series.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the action sequences are fantastic. I also think the suit looks great when he's flying. Maybe because I'm so because it is literally straight out of the comic, I didn't even really think so much about how weird the face thing looks in real life. I just kind of
Yeah.
accepted it. So now that I looked at it in hindsight, it does look kind of weird. But I was so like, holy crap, it's like straight out of the comics. That part blew me away. I have to disagree with I don't feel like the show made a good case for why Sam should be Cap. And as much as I understand the importance of Captain America, and especially with Walker being introduced, like you don't want him. I'm a fan of Falcon. My thing is like in the comics, he picks up the mantle for a while to help out, and then he goes back to being Falcon. And for me, it's like, why, when you have the way that it's presented to me, and maybe I'm way overthinking it, but it's like Captain America is more important than Falcon. That's why like we have to have a Cap. So now you're a Falcon Cap, and Falcon just doesn't exist anymore. And they did lay the groundwork for his buddy, the army guy, to come up as like a second Falcon or something, which would be super cool. I'm super into that. But I don't know. I just don't feel like he really earned it as much as it was just like, well, here you go. Now you're getting it. We need a black Captain America, and it's gonna be.
Can I,
Um,
I'm well, we can go ahead.
all right.
Well, hold on real quick. Because, all right,
Oh.
so watching the show, I'll say Clement remembers this.
So,
The first two episodes of WandaVision, I felt could have been summed up in episode 3, and we could have just went on from there and either got rid of those two episodes or put those two episodes on the back of WandaVision. Now I take that back. I want to take those two episodes of WandaVision and put them on the back of this show. Or make this finale a double episode.
But I would fight you even on that, because at least, even though those two kind of feel like filler, at least within the thematic approach that they were going to talking about television also, and the commentary of the decades, those episodes were necessary. In this show, there aren't anything. There's nothing. There's no overall theme
I
or
will.
anything like
I
that.
disagree.
So,
I disagree that they're necessary.
I will throw a
And I
comment.
gotta disagree about there not being an overall theme.
Like
Because
I'm
what I
the
got from this was the theme of the episode is what does it take to make a Captain America, which is the representative of the country, in the eyes of the people. And the theme I got, the one that I saw, and maybe I don't know, the one that I got was the government put up John Walker as an advertisement to the rest of the world of what they want to see,
Yep.
they want to show America is, and Sam Wilson is a representation of what it actually is.
And what it
And
can be.
yeah, exactly. And as far as not showing that he earned the mantle, my question is, what criteria were you hoping to see? I'm asking Nate.
Um, I maybe I should rephrase. Not so much that he didn't earn the mantle, as much as I didn't feel his motivation for why he needed to pick the shield up. And without, I think, like, the foil of John Walker, like, if you don't do it, someone bad is going to do it, is kind of a weak motivation. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to watch it again, but I hearing you talk about it, and especially with how overall in the season they present him as a good man, and the quote that Tucci has, I think that makes a lot more sense than how I had interpreted it.
And can I jump in real quick to say
Yeah,
why
please.
color? I mean, as with all these things, take what you see and then add it to what you met when you met Sam in Captain America. He was doing good work, trying to build up vets as himself. Also was given, then juxtapose that against when he was given the shield, because it's like saying, corny as it may be, but Captain know that was a good man, and he helped him, remember? Because he was adjusting to the new world as a soldier, who was the first person, other than Nick Fury, was, get to work, but who actually stopped to actually kind of check his mind out was Sam.
Yeah.
So, though, if you add all those that in the formula, I think that adds to the criteria. So I guess that's just how my mind works, where it's like, since this is the MCU, we cannot discount what has already been shown about when you meet people.
And I think that's a good point, Keith. I think it's like when you also talk about the fact of Cap really, when you talk about like Winter Soldier, Civil War, Cap wasn't afraid to go against the government. And the only other person that was like, cool, first of all, was Sam. At the end of Winter Soldier, he was kind of like, so when do we start? And so it's like, right.
Cap didn't have nobody. Cap was out there on the raft. Because he was, all of his friends and little partners were Hydra scum, Nazis. Let's just, like, I know they called Hydra, but they're
no friends.
Rick scum was out there, like, you like I can't speak as a white guy, but let's just say you're a white guy who's trying not to be racist, and all of your family is just the most ridiculous racist. And not only they just regular racist, they're super racist.
They're like trying to compete for like the best.
They are January. They're like the good, the actual version of the people on January 6th who went to college and got PhDs and money, not just dumb foot soldiers who out there who should be in jail. Not going too deep in that, but who got a slap on the wrist, who just went out there. But like Hydra is actually coordinated. They're the actual, like, Nazi Germany history that took over America, and they want to stomp you out. And Cap woke up and he just wasn't having it, bro. Like, one thing he always done in the comics is punch Nazis. That's what he do.
And he goes against the government when the government's doing wrong. And that really showed the difference between John Walker and everybody else. But when it came to Sam, The biggest thing that this show has done, episode after episode after episode, is show that it's not the superheroes or it's not the super soldier serum that makes Captain America. It's that compassion.
Yep.
I mean, Steve cares, and Sam
I still would have liked
cares.
Sam to get the serum though. He has the serum in the comics. To be honest though, like I'm just upset that we're not getting a Falcon movie. Like I think the Falcon is a really cool hero. I'm also salty that Red Wing is not, like, this series would have been a perfect opportunity to give him an actual cool Hawk or Falcon Red Wing instead of just a robot one. But I to me, that's, I think, what I'm the most upset about is now, all right, well, he's Cap, so, we'll get Sidekick Falcon, but we'll never get a Falcon movie. Like, I think, to me, it's like Falcon is cool enough that we don't...
Can I say something else?
Yeah, please.
I'll be honest. You can bomb me on this. I never really gave a damn about Falcon until the movies, because I always thought he was kind of like, I thought he had some cool stuff back in the day, but his first appearance, I mean, he was a pimp out of Harlem who was a knife fighter, and I was like, something like that's crazy. Like, is that, I'm glad that he kept getting. Of course,
he was a pimp.
His best origin to me was the Ultimate version. That Sam Wilson didn't give a damn. He was jacking people up. He had the all black, black ops fits he was a soldier and a scientist. But when Nick Fury told him to lay people out, he pulled out them double Uzis, which you kind of saw, but he went bloodless in the Ultimate comics. That Sam Wilson would have been an extreme version.
See,
for people.
Yeah. I think that
was the coolest version for me.
We haven't heard a lot from Clement on this, man.
No, y'all just going on, and I don't want to get in the middle of it, but it's also for me, I think, and I don't want to be the guy that like, okay, we have a black man, but it's like having a black superhero. I feel like this is like the second coming of Black Panther, when you saw like Black Panther fully realized on screen in Civil War, carry on to his movie. I feel like sort of which that, Anthony / Sam is carrying on that mantle of, strong black people in the MCU. And I think that's really important to me. And kind of like what he's saying, I've always been a fan of fucking comics, but it's always kind of been like secondary to me. Like I've always been like, oh, cool, Falcon. But when I saw him in the comics, that made me want to go back further and delve back into the history of him in the comic books. So like, I didn't know much about the Falcon until Mackie portrayed him on screen. So I think for me, when I have a kid, it's going to be one more legacy, one more story that I can give my kid to be like, hey, we are fully represented in media. This is going to be, and hopefully when I do have a kid, I can say, I was there when
now,
came on screen.
Now hold up. No, you go ahead, Clement. I'm gonna jump off of that one.
Just saying, like, I was there. I remember when I was up at midnight watching when the first Black Captain America was introduced on screen, and we're also talking about Isaiah's history too. And I think that gives me a I want to say way to kind of get through my kids, say like, hey, we are important as people, we built this country, blah blah blah, look at all of this stuff, how we're represented, but also don't forget your history, don't forget your past. It's kind of like that's going to be very important to me, in the same way that my father did with comics, games, all that kind of stuff. I want to do that to my kids, so it kind of inspires me. That said, I think it wasn't just about seeing Sam in the show just being like deserving of the shield. I think everything, for instance, his introduction has shown that he needs to be it. And I think this series was just the icing on top that showed that he needed to be Cap. Because when you got to the end of Endgame, you're like, cool, okay, Black man, Captain America, cool. Hopefully it happens. And then they follow up with the show, and this show is showing you why he needs to be Cap. Especially when he is compared straight on screen to John Walker, who kills a man with a shield in the middle of the square, when the shield was never meant to be used that way.
And I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna jump in. I'm not even gonna say that, like something that NERDSoul said last week. It's not because he killed him, because he got caught. and the way he got caught. They really wanted him dead, but John Walker didn't know how to control. He couldn't control himself. He was like, when you're a white man and you can't even play by you can't play by the playbook that's been given to you to shut up, and all you got to do is walk through the door. You obliterate the door, and then you set it on fire. Well, you got, come on. It's like,
Oh,
they're like, bruh, come on.
Yeah.
You're not even trying.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for John Walker here.
Uh-oh.
Shockingly, and just say that I very much got the notion that his character has some PTSD, as he would from being in that many conflicts and being. So I think that
You think?
as much as I think he shouldn't have killed that man, that's terrible. But I also think that the onus is also again on the United States government for that man, putting him in that position.
Wait, you mean the same government? Yeah, that same government that convinced Sam that it would be best to put it in a museum, and they Indiana Jonesed it to the same dude.
But also Sam also was works with the government regularly, the army specifically in other countries. So I'm still not buying the whole, just because he was sided with Cap to be anti-government in Civil War. Like I'm not like, this is my frustration, is like what Clement said, is that conversation he had with Isaiah Bradley, going from that to then picking up the shield. I feel like there's something missing there. I understand he's not Isaiah, his experiences are different, but with what Isaiah said to me resonated so deeply, not only just in the comic book level, but also in reality. And to me, like, all right, I'm picking up the shield. Don't worry, bro. I got you a statue. Like that doesn't even begin to remedy the situation.
I'm with you to a point, but I want to paraphrase another black YouTuber that's not here. You mean a black dude in a white world, or with a world where a bunch of white people are normally there and the eyes on him, and the judgment? Yeah, nobody in this circle knows what that's about. I know I don't. I don't know what that's about. I'm pretty sure Mike don't know what that's about.
I know what YouTube you're talking about, and I agree with him.
Yeah, but the big thing on that though is what I saw and what Isaiah Bradley said, bruh. I live that every day, I think all of us do. But Sam picking up the shield, remember what he said to his sister about, like we just talked about John Walker's PTSD. But let's talk about Isaiah's for a minute. The regular old black man PTSD that we all got from Isaiah saying no self-respecting black man would want that shield, to other black man on the bridge going, yeah, that's Black Falcon right there. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Give me some of them greens, and all right. So when it comes to that trauma from the last 3 or 4 generations, and Sam Wilson having to take that trauma in mind and ask, where or how do I move forward with that, in the same way that all of us are doing so now, especially those of us that got kids.
And can I say this also, to build on your point, to be the first, man, like I'll say this, to be the first is every weight. Like just, something simple as going to college. I am the first in my nuclear family to have went to college. And look, the college I went to is just 4 miles away, but it was worlds apart from other people to go to, just to be able to go to Southern University and to finish. And to finish on time, and to do these things, to do some of these first, even on a smaller level. So it's nothing to look at the character and why he might be hesitant or whatever, because he's doing something that the world hasn't seen. Yes, Isaiah Bradley was there. He knows, but he knows he can't. Now he has to be visible. He has to be accountable. He has to perform. And when it's just.
Doesn't he already do that as an Avenger?
No,
not to the level of the title of Captain America.
Because this is Sam. Wait, let me.
Can I give you a sports analogy?
No, let me get in here to answer that one. Okay.
Oh, sure.
He didn't do it with the Avengers because that was an ensemble.
Yes.
And whenever anybody, especially the disenfranchised, be it LGBT, person of color, or woman, does anything in a group of other people, they're the last to be noticed, let alone get any credit. Like as the audience, we heard him say "Cap to your left" when all those portals open. But I bet you dollars to motherfucking donuts that anybody else that would have been there would have gave Doctor Strange all that credit because he's the one that opened the portals. You get what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
but with him as Captain America on screen telling government leaders while wearing the stars and stripes, I'm a black man that wears the stars and stripes telling you to be better. You know, that is that first that we're talking about. Okay, he was one of the first to be in a group, but let's face it, Luke Cage was the first black superhero, not the first superhero with dark skin. You know, Black Panther gets the credit for being black, but he's African, and that is a completely different experience and a completely set of references. So we got Sam Wilson as one of the first black superheroes, along with John Stewart, and they don't get credit for being the first. You know, so now Sam is, you know, so Sam being the first black Captain America, mostly on his own, but as part of the ensemble, they made it very clear with his speech, the action scenes, and all the stuff that we saw with Bucky and Sharon Doran. That was Sam's show. Sam was the one that was in charge. He was the one that was giving the orders. He was the one that was talking to people. So it wasn't an ensemble. It was a team with Sam at the head. And that's the first time that the people in the MCU have seen that.
And
I'll
to go
say
back,
I think there's. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, just like the two parts where when Sam got to Madripoor, you know, Bucky's been hounding him, gotta take the shield, you gotta take the shield. What Sharon's saying, you know, it's all BS, right? You know, you gonna buy into it. Like, so you got these two people who he's worked with opposing views. That he got to listen to one. He got to listen to Bucky. You know, Bucky didn't quite get it because he's just so gung ho, and he's like thinking of himself until he had to get his out of his feelings. Nothing wrong with having feelings, but he had to get out of his feelings
and you
deal
still
with
got
a little.
Zemo trying to give him a CD of freaking Trouble Man, going, "I get you, man."
And you have, you know, that guy.
Now,
Just
all right. Now, real quick, I want to reel it back to something that Clement said a while back. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Kevin Jones says that, you know, this is inspiring deep discussion. We're going to keep discussing it. But I do want to say that there was a moment, you know, of cheering when I paused it. I was talking to my wife for a second. I was like, man, I can't imagine being like 9, 10 years old watching this show. Like,
exactly.
I can't imagine. I would have been, man, I'd have been through the roof. You know what I'm saying? I would have been, because I know what we saw. I know what we got.
No, you would have been like Sam's nephews.
We got to try to live our experience through someone who didn't even like speak about our experience. We had to basically just be like, all right, well, I'll be him. This guy doesn't know how I live, hasn't spoken about how I live. But now, after seeing what I saw last night, like,
Or
and
green.
even though I said I do
green.
think,
you know, don't forget about being green. It sounds
like
funny, but you know,
I do think like we needed an extra episode or a double episode to flesh out, because they put the gas on in this episode. I will say that.
I agree with you. They should have been a
cheered,
7th
man. There were
episode.
so many things,
dude,
and then going
nothing.
into
This was Warp Factor 5.
Yeah, it was.
And then going into what Solar was saying, I get another thing that shows so much about how Sam kind of deserves it is, you know, we've had fight scenes all throughout this that were like top notch, stellar, but Sam is always focused on saving people.
Yes.
He's always focused on saving people. He's always trying to protect, get people out the way, you know, try to solve this the safest way possible. Yes, you know, some people got to take L's because, you know, hey, if you live by the sword, sometimes you're going to die by it. Mm-hmm. But in most cases, Sam is trying to like, hey, let's work this out.
You know what Sam is?
We don't have to kill everybody.
Sam is an adult. That's what he is. He gets the big, like, as opposed to as we call, you know, John Walker, MAGA cap, Party City cap, cosplay cap, trash cap.
Yo,
but you know, just because he actually had to shake it off because he want to fight the world. He want to be a gun. He want to be like Brett Favre, be a gunslinger to show the guns, show his power, and he had to actually think about. He had to shake it off and actually like, oh yeah, maybe I need to save people with my super strength, and I can get back to this fight. It's like, come on, dog.
I will give John his props.
Yeah.
When it got down to it, him and Bucky, they didn't say a word to each other. They just knew, you know what? We got to save people right now. You didn't see him kind of argue about it, or, you know what I'm saying? You clearly saw a moment where he was like, you know what? Let me put down the bull and let me actually get to the business of like saving these people.
Well, see, so the thing about this show,
I will give him credit for that.
John Walker wasn't the bad guy. He was the eye guy. I mean, he ain't bad. He eye. You know,
it was narratively, it was really tough to put U.S. Agent into this arc because in this original, that the story that this is kind of inspired by, like U.S. Agent was already an established character. Cap dies, and then it's like, okay, who's gonna get the shield? And it's like this whole thing of there's U.S. Agent is around. That's who the government wants. Bucky also carries the shield for a while, which honestly I'm a little disappointed didn't happen at all. Really,
I'm not. I don't think it's time yet.
Yeah.
I think Bucky is still a little too damaged, and he knows.
Oh, absolutely.
It,
I don't think he should keep it. I think it should have. I think had I made this show and it was 3 episodes longer, he would have picked after John. He would have picked it up like, all right, somebody's got to do this, and then in the process of him failing because he's obviously not ready, then Sam is put in that position where he's like, no, it's me. That's why Steve gave it to me. Whatever.
You know why Bucky don't need it? Why he don't need? He already has 2. He already got a.
But it's not about needing it. It's about when a superhero dies. Okay, who is first in line to take the mantle? The damn sidekick. Okay, he is entitled to at least hold the shield for a little bit and then be like, I don't want this.
Bucky got too much already, man. He got the dope Wakanda arm. He don't need the shield too.
Oh my god! Don't get me started about the Wakanda thing too.
I have 2 questions for you, Nate. Did you want it to be like more comic book accurate? Like
no.
Is that I'm just like trying to.
To be honest, I feel like, okay, as a comic fan, I think it was good. The fight scenes were good. The characterizations were good. The comics, the suits were good. As a show, I think it needed a lot of work. I think this is a pretty bad show, to be honest. And because it lies so heavy on the MCU and what we already know of the characters and we're already invested, it is like watchable because of that. But otherwise, I think it's pretty rough. But as far as what I wanted from it, I think it gave me mostly what I wanted. I'm just peeved that we got a black man wearing U.S. colors that abandoned his own mantle, and now he's flying around on African Wakandan tech that's painted in a U.S. American flag, so he can fly around and do war crimes for the U.S.
I did want to get around.
If I'm being really honest, that's my biggest issue.
No, now Nate, let's stay on that real quick. Nate, let's stay on that because that is the point that kind of it's hard for me to let go as well. Okay, so he got this technology from Wakanda. Wakanda's like, yo, man, look, we know your wings got messed up. Look, we got your back. We got you a brand new suit, all this cool tech. We got you a red wing and all that. You can put the shield in it. It flies out, all kinds of sweet stuff. We got you.
3 wet rings. Yeah.
Yeah, 3. And then when he gets it and we look at it, it's red, white, and blue. And I understand. It's because of what Isaiah Bradley said. It's because of what we live. It's because the way this is written is in a world that's like close-ish to ours. It's because the experiences he is going through ring true. And do not get me wrong. I get the arguments between kind of like the argument of should we leave or should we stay because we built this country? I get those arguments and I get both sides. I get Isaiah saying no one in their right mind would put this on because once you put this on, it's over. You think you're going to change the system from the inside and there's not enough of you to change this system from the inside. I get that. And then I even get Sam saying like, yo, somebody's got to do it for all the Isaiahs that fell. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to do it for them because it's not fair. They'll never get their light. So I get it. But it's red, white, and blue. And it's like America's let off the hook for this. And they still get to pat themselves on the back. Like they didn't start this issue. Well, no, technically Zemo started the whole thing to the snap and then the people go. But you know what I mean? Right. Like they didn't start this issue with, with why Cap doesn't like the government like that, why Sam doesn't like the government like that. The regular oppressive education, financial, and governmental system that we are already in, and to kind of be a representation of that, even if you're trying to flip it, is tough if it's not going to be, like I said, like the thing with Shaft. Like we already know, like in Shaft, he wanted to be a cop. I'm going to change it from the inside. Then he ends up leaving. Why? Because they would have to hire like 3,000 good men to actually change this precinct. It's not hiring one or two of y'all is not going to work. It's not, because any interviews that I've ever read about, quote, good cops that actually tried to report someone, they either got fired, they got stifled, or they got threatened by their own police fellow officers.
Or they simply quit and they got tired of it.
Or they simply quit because it got too much. So it's just something about it being red, white, and blue, and he's represented. It's just like, I'm torn over that.
Yeah.
Even though it did look dope, I'm torn over it.
This is
exactly how I feel.
This is where I'm on the other side, and call it being the old man who reads all the philosophy. All right. And you've seen part of my library, but anyway, I get all that, and I feel the same things. And here is what I'm taking away from it. Okay. And I'm gonna address every single point. All right. Sam being Captain America, having the shield, wearing the stars and stripes, I see where you're talking about that. But the story made it very clear he ain't messing with the government about this. This is him standing up for the America that he thinks should be. Just like every soldier. Every soldier doesn't go in saying, we're going to do a regime change and mess up economics. They think they're fighting for freedom and the principles that are in the Constitution that we were taught in grade school. Granted, this is the same level. They're fighting for the idea, not the reality. And as far as the Wakandan tech, I saw the symbolism of when our past helps us in our present, we can forge a better future. Because they ain't got Riri yet. So
they ain't got Riri yet.
She's coming, but she ain't gonna be ready for that. No time.
And the whole thing, and as far as doing the flag, I will tell you, the people, and this is as close to political as I'm willing to get online, but the people who represent what America means more than anybody else in this country are immigrants, Black people, Latinos, and women, i.e. those of us who have been failed by the promise. We're the ones that believe in it the hardest.
And this
that doesn't erase the fact that he is wearing a flag, which is literally a symbol, right? Because it's a flag.
Yeah.
Of our government. So it's, even though you may say the heart and soul of America is these things, but he's not wearing. It'd be different if his suit was like a big multicultural picture of like America. Sure. Even if it was a black stars and stripes or like red, I feel uncomfortable.
From you is you're saying that Sam Wilson as Captain America, as the character Captain America, should essentially be projecting the outward image of screw America. Like
I'm saying that America. I'm saying that he is the Obama Captain America, where just because your captain is now black doesn't mean that the same things that we're in a post-race society are not going to continue to happen. That's what I'm saying.
I get that, and I'm right there with you.
And as much as I do enjoy seeing a black Captain America on screen, and I like them approaching this even if it's not far enough left for me, even if the fact that they're approaching this on mainstream to make other people have this conversation who have never even thought about this stuff, I think that is great.
But can I say this as well?
I want a Falcon solo movie.
I don't. I'm just saying it sounds a whole lot like you're saying that. Now, one, I'm not getting that whole thing of him wearing the Stars and Stripes mean it ain't still happening. What I'm seeing is he's the first and he is at the forefront to try and turn the thing around. But what I'm hearing you say is he shouldn't have it until it's turned around. And that's a very Tucker Carlson point, man.
No, I don't think
we shouldn't start the change until the change has already been finished. By who?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this. What if both sides are technically right? Because here's the complexity being, again, a black man in America. Mm-hmm. You're both right. You're both
absolutely. I don't think that
being the first. And I'm just saying, like, just, I get, like, Nate, I fully get your point, and I actually, I feel your point. Like, I feel like, it does kind of suck. And then you are a Falcon fan, so you want a Falcon solo story. Cool. But I guess just in the workings of this, I'm just like, if long as he is not out here, like, eat your Wheaties and be like, Hulk, like Hulk Hogan right around. He has the right as a tax-paying American citizen, a soldier, to pick up the goddamn shield. And if he want to represent it his way,
taxes on what income?
Well,
that's a fair point.
Poor people pay taxes.
No, but I agree with you. And
wait, he pays state taxes when he buys something.
I don't.
Yes. he pays sales tax. So
in New Orleans and down these parts, we pay some of the highest sales tax to our state, and we got state income. But
I definitely don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think it just like you said, it's a perspective thing, and I think both are true. And I think obviously that is the struggle that his character is supposed to have.
Back to Sarah's point of view and to Isaiah Bradley. Now they both have met into the center, which is Sam is the center, and there's no set to it because we're dealing with this every day where life can change in a moment as being a black man in America. You are an American, but then you are in a country that might, be like, what, we don't give a damn about you.
Might be.
Episode 2. We don't care about you. We don't care about nothing you believe in. Oh, but by the way, can you save us? And can you do it well? And can you do it ASAP?
That point goes to something Clement and I were talking about like way back, and I think about it very often. A lot of times we're always asking, like, we want black people here. We want black people there, blah, blah, blah. But we got to also remember, you're probably asking for them to be the only black person there. Because when they hire that black person, here's what's going to happen. They're going to hire that one black person, pat themselves on the back, and go on about their day. They're not going to go and hire like 10, 12 black people. No. They're going to hire that one black person and be like, see, guys, hey, Black Lives Matter, right? And then they're going to be out. So that person that's there has to be, unfortunately, until the next round of hiring happens, has to be Sam Wilson, sort of. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's the game that we sometimes have to play.
Only one in those doors, behind those doors. I've been the first. I've been, the one that has lasted the longest of all of the other people. Sometimes I was like the only male in some things and been the only black male in some jobs. And that's cool. But it's just, it gets lonely, man, till you meet another brother, like, you're like, yeah, like, what up? Like, let's talk, let's chat. How's the industry treating you? And that's just something you get from living. And it's like, there's never going to be anything sometimes clear cut for a lot of us. Some lucky few get it that way. But Sam, ultimately, they may not have ripped it from him, but they did kind of take his dignity. Like, his dignity was hurt. His dignity was ripped when he had to see John Walker given the shield, promoted, given the authority. Because forget, they had to actually rip the authority from John Walker when they had to bust him down. And then on the low, he's still given a chance because, I know we haven't jumped to it, but, to sum it up, John Walker, for all the things he done wrong, he still gets to keep a job, not go to jail, not get tested on. Even though there's no more supposed super soldier serum, he still got it pumping his veins. They not locking him up. He's a loaded gun that's going to get directed to do what what the real shadow government, whether if Contessa's Hydra or if she's the regular government, don't matter. They gonna have some people to get taken out. They gonna be like, we're gonna holler at you when you're ready.
Yeah.
We're gonna pat you in the back. We're gonna activate you. So he still get fortunate for that. Where Sam had to go through all of this to get what was given to them.
Yeah.
And go on, Clement.
Yeah,
so I want Solar to talk because I think like all I was gonna say is it's also kind of like on what Keith was saying. It's also disrespectful to Cap's memory to take the shield, have Sam do what was right in his heart, be like, you know what, I'm not ready for this because let's be real, he's probably going through a really bad bout of imposter syndrome, going to that, giving up the shield, and then saying, okay, thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much for doing the right thing. And then not even probably a day or two later being like, hey, here's your brand new Captain America.
Yeah, it was the lie, but I don't want to address the dishonesty of the government because that's beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
And we all know that, Black people got to work 5 times as hard to get 1/10 as much. And this show showed that. I'm actually asking, can we talk about that speech?
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that. I knew you were about to bring that up.
Yeah.
I got some good, some bad, but you can go ahead if you want to go ahead.
Well, it was there. There were a lot of parts about that speech that stood out to me, but the part that really got me, the part that made me go, you know what? That's my Captain America. Were 2 things. One, the Fox News argument. So what? All those people that just showed up after the snap, you think it's fair for the government to have to take care of them? Yes.
Yeah.
What else is the government for? And second, y'all need to do better. You can feed millions of people with a phone call. And who's in the room with you when you make that call? Is it the people that need food? Or is it more people like you that sit up, and I know that I'm not quoting it directly, but I'm going to just say what I got out of it, which was, or is it more people like you that sit around with their thumbs up their asses whining about how complicated it is?
Yep.
Oh, wait. Again, I'm going to take it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
Are people of color in that room too?
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
Barely. Or if they are people of color, do they have our interests at heart?
Yeah, that's the part that I'm at, because it's easy to have Candace
little
Owens in that
people.
room.
Or
Yes,
or are they
it's easy
yes men or are they yes men saying,
Wait,
you know what,
so are you saying that
I
just because someone is black doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing?
No, I'm saying they could just be just because they're black. They might be
Yo.
Oh wait,
a whole
Gotcha.
white winger.
can I quote Sam Wilson on this? Yes.
Yo, some of them, we know some of them funny style types. They get their money, and they be like,
Look,
you've got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We're like, what are you talking about? You didn't pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, like I'm
they gave you the boots to stomp on your people.
They gave you the boots. They gave you the boots because you promised to talk bad about us. What are
And
you
to kick
talking
shit
about?
downhill.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Just got your boots yesterday. You already talking about don't touch them.
Exactly. Like, I worked so hard to get to this point. Yeah, because those people gave you the opportunity to get it. I mean, I'm sitting up here with 3 college degrees and a whole bunch of other qualifications. And that has no bearing on whether or not I get the call back, or it has less bearing than one might think.
Bruh.
If we lived in a real meritocracy, this wouldn't be a thing.
I told Mike this. How many of y'all or know people who have done a job for years and be asked to train a new person to become their goddamn boss? I have seen
they will do it to you. They will do it.
No. When was the last time you went to a grocery store? You got people doing the job for 5 or 6 years, then having to train you to use the robots that are going to replace them. This is the real world that we live in.
Yep. I would understand robots more than little Billy or little Susie, who been coming around the store and all of a sudden can get old enough to get a job, and they start off at the top to suppress you.
And see, that is the point where I stood up watching the episode at 1:30 in the morning going, that's my Captain America, when he's like, you got to do better. I think that we can do better. And I just watched him take down a helicopter, pick up a truck with a bunch of drones, fight 2 super soldiers, get his ass beat by a super soldier that he wasn't willing to fight because that's what she wanted and that would have proved her point. I saw all that. And him
Bruh, they got
saying, after
money
all
to make
this,
men that can lift trucks, but they can't feed so-called refugees,
Bro,
or they can't stop terrorists.
episode 4, they had the food and they wasn't distributing it. That's
It's
why Carly blew
simple
the thing up.
food.
You know,
Simple
so
stuff is food.
yeah. So I mean, when he says, you know, I think we can be better, and he looks at the people in power and say, you need to do better. That is what the essence of Captain America has always been to me. Like, you know, that was the Captain I knew back in the 80s. That's
Don't
good
worry,
old
guys.
Nomad.
I gave the corrupt UN a stern talking to.
Yeah, that's
Don't worry.
Now, I
I'm
will
Black
say
Captain
this.
America,
So
and I'm here.
with that said, let's go to the, because I know we coming up on time. I know Clement. Matter of fact, Clement, final thoughts. What do you got? Because I know Clement got to bounce.
I mean, final thoughts is like, well, all right. I think we've covered a lot. I think we should cover other things in the episode, like the Sharon Carter of it all.
It was Mephisto.
It was the mutants. That one. It was Quicksilver.
What'd you say, Keith?
He said it was Quicksilver.
Don't even with that. But like, I think the Sharon Carter of it all was an important piece of it, because that post-credit scene was very interesting where they kind of left it. It's like, I knew the MCU, they're not going to give you a lot of exposition, kind of like what they did with WandaVision's post-credit scene. It's just kind of like, cool, so we know she's a baddie now. But in what terms is she that baddie?
I am with this not knowing exactly, because this is why. Keyword, this is the MCU. Sharon has pretty much told you how she feels. And she's making hella bank being evil. So it's like, you know what? Part open season. I got them goods. I got that work. Come on, let's sell it. Let's get it.
I guess it's because I've watched so much spy stuff and read so many spy books. I don't know if she's evil, because to quote Joe Pesci in JFK, you know, CIA, mafia, all trying to whack the beard, but we already had the beard on our side until everybody's switching sides all the time. It's fun and games. Like, that is the way that the spy game is played. So as far as possible, that could have been Nick Fury on the phone on the moon trying to get Earth's resources to help out the Skrull. We don't know.
I mean,
she is not the power broker. She's still working with him, because they did say it was a him. That could, nobody, that doesn't have to stay true. He could just, she could just be fulfilling her mission and still be doing deep cover to draw out.
She might be like a double, a quadruple agent.
The whole in and out menu agent,
quadruple agent.
Just a scroll.
And I'm gonna throw this out there because this is one story we know that's coming is Armored Wars. And what happened in Armored Wars, the crux of it is people were still in Stark Tech. Power broker could be, you could use the power broker as this kind of mad game of these rich, powerful, seedy people like Justin Hammer, and you got to draw them all out. And that's usually people who kind of begin with Hydra. They kind of like leak into. So this could leak directly into Armor Wars. So, I wouldn't say beat your brain up about it too much. You will know, but because it's going to be like 2 series down the line. Yeah, that was one of those 2 end credits were like John Walker. It was kind of goofy, shout out to Elaine. She was goofy, but it was funny because she kept screwing with people. Did I or didn't I? I found that
her so much.
It was cool. But I will say this to what one of Mike's first point. John, there is a story here where John Walker don't even pop up in this episode that I could see as a different ending. Where you just leave John Walker a little mad that he's beating up his old raggedy ass shield because he's gonna be, because we know what the U.S. agent does. He is a dog of the state to send out to be the loaded weapon. Mm-hmm. He is not necessarily. He's never really a good guy. He might be a misunderstood. But he can also be a unmitigated piece of shit. So
he comes around after a while.
Yeah,
I think he got a long way to go. I want to ask
Clement really quick before he leaves. do you think that this appointment as Captain America is like a permanent thing? Do you think this is going to be like a one movie and done, a 2 movie and done, 3 movies crossover until Mackie retires? Like, obviously they set the groundwork to get Patriot because you know they're going to do a Young Avengers and with Isaiah Bradley's nephew in there. But
I think this. I was actually going to say this earlier and I kind of forgot about it, but there could be a way with now that we have the Captain America 4, it could be a way of, okay, you carry the storyline of Sam with the shield, and then maybe Sam gets hurt or something, and then Bucky takes over. Because we see by the end of this show, the end of this show, that Bucky is not only coming to terms with his past in a way, but also he's working through that PTSD, working through the pain of being a Winter Soldier, also working through that pain of having no say in who he goes after. So I think it could be happening down the line, but right now I think it's Sam to be that icon of what Captain America should be.
As long as we don't get original sin, I'll be happy.
It could be a point in Captain America 4 where Eli get hurt and then they have to do the blood transfusion and then he gets the power. So they can use that could probably be a possible thing too. Yeah, that's how they comics. So
I honestly think, like, as far as I'm pretty sure Sam ain't gonna be Captain America forever, because as much as the MCU is the longest and most expensive television show the world has ever seen, it's still based on comic books, and at the end of the day, comics go back to square one. I think he's going to be Captain America until either Chris Evans brings his price down or until Disney is willing to come up with some more change. That's about it. Or until they find somebody that can do a whole Patrick Stewart, what's his name, John McAvoy crossover.
I'm gonna say about 6 years. I think he's gonna have it for about 6 years. Just nothing takes that to go that. Yeah,
I think 6 years is 5 to 6 years is a good. I think that's a good estimation on that one. So who knows? Maybe they'll bring back in Chris Evans and do Hydra Cap.
Well,
we don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
them folks will lose their minds. The people who never knew Hydra Cap as a thing will lose their skull.
God, I don't even want to think about it. But I mean, Chris Evans is supposedly, quote unquote, supposed to come back as Cap, but we don't know in what capacity yet. We just know what's gonna happen because of what Deadline's like is staying on their story. Even like when the original story broke that Evans was coming back, even Evans was like, "Hey, this is news to me." Mm-hmm. So
yeah, even Feige said too that it's not true. Also,
they're staying on it. But until we know for sure, I'm not mad at seeing Sam in the suit and with the shield for a while. Yeah. Do I want Bucky to be Cap? I want to be opposed to it, but I think for me, Bucky has a lot of work, even though that we get to like, hey, we're happy, we're a family now, we're cool. This is like the Lethal Weapon. We might not understand each other all the time, but we're friends and we're cool.
I just know Bucky
has a lot more road to go.
He's trying to holler at Sam's sister. I don't think he worried about the shield.
Right? Wait, and before I go,
we don't need that.
I want to see.
We don't need that right now. I'm just saying. We don't need that.
Side effect of doing anything in Wakanda is coming back with a thing for Black women. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, what did you say, Solana?
I said side effect of doing anything in Wakanda is coming back with a taste for Black women. That's all I'm saying.
All right, now, okay.
I'm not mad at it. Like everyone, hey, Sarah, what's good? How you doing? Like,
yo, nah, man, nah, we ain't doing
that. I'm not mad at like. If there is someone that can get Bucky out of his mess, it's a Black woman, and a Black woman is not going to tolerate.
I'm just saying. I just want them to have a reason to pop up, man. Like keep the weapon on his arm. Don't give him the shield. Just keep him where he's at, man. Just keep where he's at. Activate him when he's got to kill some people and fight. Jump off motorcycles. Bash evil people in the head. Oh,
see, I'm just because of Clement. I'm seeing that scene. Like, I don't care. Oh yeah, you having nightmares again? Them nightmares ain't cleaning this kitchen.
I'm just saying. I gotta say it. Like,
But Clement, are you bouncing or you good? You good?
yeah, I gotta bounce. I gotta
All
go.
right.
I'll go.
Go on and tell the people where they can find you then.
At Twitter, Instagram, at Clement Bryant. I'm glad that Mike didn't do the whole thing again, like he always does. And so,
what?
Nope. Bye. See you. Bye.
Peace out.
All right.
See you.
I see you tomorrow at the Oscars, man. You're gonna kill it.
Take it easy.
You know what? All four of y'all. Chief, you involved too. I know you went on screen, but you involved too. All right, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
He has to go write some acceptance speeches.
Yeah, no, real talk though. One of my best friends is up for an Oscar tomorrow because of a documentary on Latasha Harlan. So shout out to her.
We'll be fine now.
Boy, trying to attack me. All right, since I'm almost under attack, I did want to talk about the statue for a second.
Oh,
I think Jenna James said something about the statue, why it had to be in the back. Now, here's my thing. I know we laugh, but honestly, I would have liked to see a ceremony just like we had for the Shield. Just like we had for the Shield. I would have loved to see a ceremony. And I know, of course, before I say this, I know comics, you can just draw the person. In real life, you have to actually like cast the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, but it would have been nice to have a ceremony where we bring up this man, somebody's talking about his accomplishments and all that good stuff, and then as they bring him up, have people stand and cheer. It would be nice to have Don Cheadle to come back. It would be nice to have some Wakandan emissaries there. It would be nice to have that stuff to be like, yo, this.
Look, you want Wakanda to come to the ceremony where they're crowning another Captain America?
Yes. No, they're not crowning a Captain America.
In the West are coming here to.
Hold on. I'm not saying they're crowning. They are giving him his just due for what he was held away from for years and what he had overcome and what he had endured, and telling his story and respecting that story and history and holding at the height and regard of the other Captain America. So it's showing solidarity of the African diaspora. It's not a situation where they're saying like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We just here because we're here.
Can I say
but
something?
It would be dope to have them give him a ceremony instead of be like, yo, I got something for you. It's way in the back in the closet. Here's a statue of peace.
You're on to something, but you know what I wanted? Even like, I'm not gonna say, look, far as symbolism, far as taking that ride with Isaiah Bradley, look, I almost teared up to see his reaction to it. I'm happy that there's a statue, but you know what you said, I wanted to see, not say a pompous ceremony, not what you said is bad. You know what I want? An actual hearing or something for them to say you have been pardoned of the false crimes we put upon you.
Well,
because
we still got a Captain America 4 coming, and
that's
not off the table.
I will bet you
an actual pardon,
a whole $1 that Isaiah Bradley will not even be mentioned in Captain America 4.
I would take you up on that, but I'm a Twitcher, so I ain't got that.
Wow, Nate.
I'm willing to take that bet. I'm willing to disagree, but he ain't gonna be there much. But I would just like to say that's what I would have wanted. And ultimately, to go to your first point, Mike, instead of say 6 episodes, I would have taken John Walker or rearranged some of his time out and his post scene and did that, or added an episode 7 to flesh some of that out in the epilogue. That would be me. That's
even if that was like, we got that little bit of if you cut out the time of him going to see the statue and it was him at a hearing and then leaving the hearing and people like taking photos and he, like he's smiling.
That
like
brother exists and alive and is not a criminal. That's what I wanted. That he did not deserve to be disgraced like that.
I'm good with I'm good with a pardon, but as far as it being told that he's alive, nah.
Maybe not.
We still got Hydra, we still got AIM, we still got Osborn coming.
And he might have the only non-protected version of it, just walking around. They're like, you know what, we're gonna steal this dude.
Exactly.
So I don't want to see him get kidnapped.
Because they did bring out. Excuse me. Hello, everyone.
Go on, Ryan. Go on, Ryan. He here. RJ's Nerdy Brew.
Oh, what?
But
Good
one
Lord.
thing that they did bring out is that if anybody had a hint of having the super soldier serum, it could be utilized. So we still got Sharon, we still got Madam Hydra, you know, AIM, all of those other entities are out there. So Isaiah Bradley would need to remain you know, anonymous at this time.
I just would like that brother to get a pardon. That's all I'm saying. But
that's what I'm saying.
Within the framework,
but he got the pardon. I mean, that's kind of implied because they don't put war criminals in a museum under a plaque of honor. So we might not.
I get you. Yeah. So we kind of. I guess you're saying it's kind of implied that they covered that part. And
I feel like that would have been maybe more. I mean, they're both powerful. Like this is one of them cases where it's not wrong. It's just what do somebody want to see in their form. And we at the end of the day, there's the answer is we want Isaiah Bradley treated right. How should he have been treated right? And that's the question. And ultimately, we got a form of it. You know, we got some retribution for this brother.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and we see Isaiah Bradley. We see our fathers. We see our grandfathers. We see our uncles.
Yeah.
We see the old man.
Carl killed that man for real.
That's what we see, and that's why we see. And ultimately, if we're, you know, not to be preaching, but if we're blessed, we're going to be Isaiah Bradley. You know, we are. Some of us are on the cups of that age and have kids now. So ultimately, I see where I'm going in this world, in this life. That, you know, is only one way to go from earth to the grave. So we want to see ourselves and to see ourselves have that future and that justification. That's how I guess my set in life.
When he gave that handshake, that old black man handshake, you because you get that grip, like that strong grip. He looked in his eyes, you know, it's that one tear was like, shook his hand.
Yeah, he was ready to rip off his arm.
I ain't gonna front. I saw my grandfather in that joint. I was just like, man,
right.
I remember that handshake. That handshake will be strong.
With that scene that killed me, you know, I'm just like, yep. I mean, we got to give the shout out to Ludlow, because what has he done that wasn't amazing other than Mantis? You know, but seriously speaking, like when he looked over at Sam and he's like, "You special, all right? You ain't Malcolm or Martin special, but you know,
but you still special." I loved it.
But you ain't that good. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like you cold, but I'm cold.
Just going to the point of seeing our grandfathers. My grandfather fought in Vietnam, and he was a nurse. So him being a nurse in Vietnam, he saw the worst of the war, right? And him in correlation with Isaiah Bradley, I've been fortunate enough to be removed from that time period, to grow up in a evolving time period. But the sentiments that those gentlemen have between my grandfather and Isaiah Bradley are very similar, of not feeling supported by their nation.
Wow, it's almost like they had a black man in the writer's room.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing how that works out.
It seems so. It seems so. So just what we were saying earlier about Isaiah Bradley's presence, it does very much correlate with an older black experience, you know, that it's not just a monolith of how our life goes between Sam and then Isaiah Bradley, that it's always evolving.
And that push and pull between the past, the present, and what the possible future could be. And I appreciate that they didn't back off on that.
Yep, that's what was the beauty of this. And I mean, you know, and then going back to the speech and some things, some of it was clunky, sure. I don't mind it being heavy-handed, but I admit I don't want a heavy-handed speech like that again. But I feel like, you know what, it was cool to tie it up. A little clunky, but he still stuck the landing. Maybe just wasn't the perfect score.
No, so, I think I agree with you, but I think the speech was necessary
Yes.
because it was bringing up to a lot of people who are not us. I'm gonna just say that because even brought out early because I was watching, I was listening in, and how it was brought out about the Fox News, the rights, how they always say whataboutisms. They always have the whataboutisms, and with Sam saying his position of I don't know, and that's not my job. But I know that you should help.
The what about people will what about your ass to death? Like real talk, one of my last few friends, the last what abouts I had to deal with was when people were saying, hey, this was big in the South and going pretty much all over, let's get rid of these damn Confederate, statues. And I had this white dude who I worked with at a job before. He was like, oh man, that's history, blah, blah. Why they want to tear down? Don't you know that, and they love to bring up the North and be like, they got racism in the North. Fool, I said, we know this. We know Andrew Jackson was a hard up killer. Tear his shit down too. They're like, no. It's a whole massacre of dark people. But but that's what they're not doing all the time is having Confederate Day. I grew up going to one of the Robert Lee Theater. It was close to our house. I saw the Last Dragon there. I saw the Fat Boys movie. Crush group there. I had memories there. I didn't know at the time who Robert Lee was. I'm like, oh my god!
Stars and bars.
Some of my best moments are under the most under this guy.
Right.
Some of the best hip hop movies ever.
So that's why
I saw the Robert Lee Theater.
Because of those reasons, that's why I feel like it's very much a prevalent look for Sam to say that he is Captain America, to say in front of the world, because the world was watching, that there needs to be a look in the politics where you do include people, and that's what the government is for.
And
you're choosing to be public servants.
And let's bring it to reality too. When you have a platform and you can make change to do something with it, shout out to Colin Kaepernick. You saw what he did and what he's accomplished, and that he made the NFL bow down and had to change their stance when 45 was out here talking about stand you bastard for the flag. And look who won that argument.
Yeah.
Look who's on the right side of that. And look what we're still dealing with to this day.
Yeah. Well,
and that's all that brother was trying to do, was use his platform to get a point across.
Yeah. And the whole thing,
the
whole thing with that speech that really got me was that power, because there were those certain networks that let's not talk about because we want to make sure that NERDSoul here can stay monetized. Do you think it's fair that this government should? Yes, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Y'all need to do better. The government's supposed to do that stuff.
Yeah, it really does come down to, he broke that public discourse trap that we're in, which is y'all need to do better. Y'all need to do something.
Now, and I will throw a bone here to the dog like Nate. I'm joking a little bit, but yes, we know that maybe come Captain America 4, it might just be, America. This song. It might just be that.
Well, they do have the same guy writing the movie, at least I think that's what the report said, that Malcolm Spellman is going to be writing it.
But
so it'll probably have a similar energy.
If it becomes, Party City Cap all the time, and I
agree.
I don't know.
I think the only way we get that is if they do start laying the groundwork for like a Dark Avengers, Norman Osborn kind of a government takeover thing, where then it's like, okay, well, obviously he has to go against the government because they're like the bad guys. I think sans something like that, it's going to be him flying with his buddy who got wings from the U.S. military and is now the Hispanic.
So
they're gonna be doing missions with the U.S. government again, and he's gonna be like, oh, I work on my own, but also here I am doing black ops in other countries that are probably illegal.
Yeah, John Walker
probably illegal.
Some black ops.
Being a superhero doesn't just give you impunity to just go around the world and beat people up. Like there are laws. Like, do I think the laws are stupid? Yes, but that doesn't make it any less illegal.
This is still the Marvel universe we're talking about. If that applied, there wouldn't have been an Iron Man 2. In fact, there wouldn't have been Iron Man Act 3.
I mean, like I say, I know that none of this is 100% know which way.
Yeah, the Sokovia Accords are still enacted. That's one.
Even though there is no, but true, yeah.
Yeah, there is.
It's named in honor.
They can't name it the Crater Accord.
Blew up.
I mean, the borders still exist. I mean, there's still land there. It's not. People don't disappear if they cross the border.
It's a statue and a nuclear waste dump.
I do want to bring something up.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to bring it up quickly. At the end of the episode, how the last of the flag smashers, got demolished, desecrated, blown up, smithereens, right?
I laughed so hard.
It was funny.
And the thing is, it made me think like the writers wanted you to remember. You might have liked Zemo for a bit of time, but remember, he's evil.
Actually,
that's what we tried to tell you. That's what I tried to tell you.
Actually, I wasn't super mad at that. I was I wasn't super mad at it. Like
who he was as a person.
Zemo was like, look, Zemo was right. They shouldn't be super soldiers. They're going too far. They're killing people. You saw how Carly went. Carly went from the beginning to the end of the series. He was like, they shouldn't be around. There's an idea of superiority, whatever. And I love how when they got blown up, Baron Zemo got the news. It was like,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna jump right in because
he was like, end scene.
You know what got me on that? You know what really got me on that?
To a point. Because you know what's crazy? We've been talking for about an hour, and you know what? We just now bringing up the flag smashers. It don't matter. Their name is mud. Because, like RJ said, at the end of the day, I was right. I will say this: I was right about Zemo, but you know what? I'm glad he was right because the flag smashers, as good as this series is, they were whack, but they didn't bring down the importance of what this series is about. They were just a MacGuffin. And Carly, yeah, I know it's still possible she may have not died, possibly, but you know what? And then this is nothing against the actor. I think the actor did a good job for what she was given, but I just think it was the Flag Smasher is a whack character, always been and always will be. And they
also remember it wasn't their story.
Yeah,
they were what is going on in the world, while it's really Sam's story. Like this is about Sam and Bucky. That's why like Flag Smashers, Zemo, even Power Broker are kind of like background.
I was happy about that explosion.
Yep.
Because in the last episode where Zemo was like, you know what? Don't worry. I have decided that I'm not going to kill you. And then he gets carted away by Dora Milaje. We're like, you going what now? Like, why are you talking about this? Like, you busted. You busted. This is done. You are going to jail. But I've decided not to. And then when that blew up, I'm like, oh.
The butler did it. The butler did it. No, you did, and you got power.
You know that butler reminds me of Archer's butler so much.
Your butler is out here committing murders. Your butler is a terrorist and finished the job for you and smiled about it. That's how cold Zemo's situation is.
He ain't a terrorist. He's a hitman.
Excuse me, he was a hitman.
Yeah, he wasn't spreading a message. He was doing a job.
He did. And Zemo folk get the job done, completed with satisfaction.
Zemo, he know what's up.
Oh, Mike.
But go ahead.
NERDSoul, I want to bring this out. That I was here on this channel, first time you had me on. You know what I'm saying? And I said that the internet said that the power broker was Zemo, but I predicted that it was Sharon.
Yeah, you and Clement were the only ones that were saying it was Sharon, and I was like,
I said it
well, at least that we knew of that were on the stream at that time.
Yeah, but I got a question though. Somebody said, in fact, my friend Gift Belu said this. The only reason why it bothered me that it's Sharon. Why, if she is the power broker, or it could be this, like I just said earlier, one of the power brokers or connection to Power Broker Inc.
Right.
It's probably more than one person. Why would they let the guy get killed by Zemo and not make a copy of his formula. That one always throws me off. Because if she says, well, super soldier is not on the menu anymore, why would you not have copied this in the first damn place? Because you could have threatened his life anytime and be like, you can make this for me. Nah.
Well, if they do that, they throw away a big piece of Marvel Comics retcon history with figuring out the super soldier serum is essentially the origin to every science-based hero and villain, from Spider-Man to Nuke to U.S. Agent to whoever.
But it's just like it just seemed like a terrible. If you're a mob boss or a killer out here, and I got the golden goose, and I'm gonna like, hey man, let me get a copy.
I think
copy.
It's like
I'll get another.
But it's like in your analogy, it's like they give you a copy and you get it, and it's in like another language, right? So like even if you had the formula or whatever, without that scientist who knows how to actually like give it to them.
Yeah.
And you saying like,
you know what? They brought
Picasso
it up in the show.
Picasso get a pencil and he makes it. It becomes a work of art. I get a pencil and just do it.
No, I think I'm with Nate on this one. When you're working for people like Hydra, the CIA, government, secret killers, you don't give the whole formula. You leave something out to make sure that you don't get a bullet when they get what they want.
That's what makes you valuable.
Maybe so.
Yeah, but they did bring out in the show that Carly did steal what was made.
And Zemo stepped on most of it.
Yeah, he stepped on most of it.
He was river dancing all over that.
I think Zemo was the wrench in the plan. From Bucky, I think that Sharon did have an overarching plan. But with Carly leaving, that was one of her plans that fell through. And then also Zemo being a new plan that popped up. I don't think he was part of that equation. I do think she has all ears and she's looking and trying to make her plans
like continue to adjust.
Yeah, continue to adjust most definitely.
I
think that those were wrenches, so they ended up getting killed. That's what I
do feel like if this was another universe, like if this was the madness of Invincible or the Boys, somebody would steal Carly's body and then like synthesize her blood or something. Like do something really wild. But
these are still
maybe
they would do that in the comics, but not an MCU, not yet.
MCU that might be too much. But just like
I could be a squirrel.
But I guess at the end of the day, my question is, how do y'all overall feel about Carly and the Flag Smashers as villains?
Well,
I give them a C-.
Gentlemen, this has been fun, but I do have to go because I am outdoors. And since I am a Southern California native, if it drops below 80, my fingers turn black. So, this has been amazing and exactly what I needed. I want to thank you, NERDSoul, for hitting me up and saying, drop the line if you want to be on this.
Well, I do want to actually go around this because we're right at time. Well, we're past regular time, but we're right at time for a show that's going to be this long. I want to go around the horn. What do you guys want to see next from our dynamic duo? Not of the South, but just our dynamic duo of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Starting with you, Solar.
In truth, I want either the Rage story arc or a Return of the Red Skull.
Okay. Because RJ? Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Well, Red Skull is Cap's most iconic villain. He is the Joker to Cap's Batman. And he's only been in one movie and a scene. And I think that is a shame. So I think they need to bring the skull back. At least long enough to be like, you ain't Cap. At least that long. Yeah, exactly, NERDSoul.
You ain't Cap. Exactly. You ain't nothing.
No, I don't want him to break out into a musical number in the subway. Thank you.
All right, RJ, what's up?
All right, so for me, I would like to see the growth of things that we already got Easter eggs for. Torres becoming Falcon. I would like to also see how the world is adjusting, because we only got a small glimpse. It's the introduction, but how is the world adjusting to this new Black Captain America? How are other people going to see this new Black Captain America? How is he going to feel that he's not just Falcon anymore. So that's one thing. And I also want to see the further timeline of how Bucky adjusts. Bucky has been adjusting ever since he got his brain fixed, and especially in Infinity War when he got his arm, he knows how to compartmentalize really quickly. Because when he got his arm, he said, "Who are we fighting?" He was like, "Oh, this is a nice arm. I really like it here. The food is good." He didn't do none of that. He was like, "All right, who we fighting? That's what y'all giving me the arm for." So as
That's
time
like a
progressed,
Baltimore
it's
drug
more of a
dealer right
natural
there.
world. It's after 6 months now. Where are we heading with Bucky as a person? Does he even still want to fight? There's a lot of questions that I would like to see going into further along their adventures.
Cool. All right, Nate.
I want to see if, Sam get the serum because I want to see Sam as Cap in another Avengers team, whether they do that for a big movie crossover or they do some type of series. I like seeing the superheroes work together, and to me, that's also when Cap is coolest, is when he's like giving orders and like working the team together. And so I'd like to see Sam in that position. And I think that it's tough for them to do that if he is Hawkeye power level. So I hope that he gets, I know he doesn't want it, so it kind of presents a hurdle, but I'm hoping for that. And for Bucky, yeah, kind of the same. Like, he isn't kind of in a weird spot where he could kind of go. I could even see him going another dark path, which I hope they don't do, because we've seen that a couple times already now. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with him as like a character, because right now, like, I found it interesting that they changed it from Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier at the end, but like he's changed so much that like he's not really the Winter Soldier anymore. Like, that was kind of the whole point of him like letting go and like crossing these names off the list. So I kind of wish that there was. I mean,
he's turned into the White Wolf.
I don't know about all that, but
like just Captain America and Bucky, I guess. Captain America
like
and
the team that they have established, I think, is cool. And yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon for Marvel. I think they're finally where they feel comfortable enough to start really experimenting with things, and I think that's where all the coolest comic book content comes from. So,
all right, Mr. Cooper.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit with Nate on one thing. I don't want Sam to get the formula. I like him being regular black man doing extraordinary things, because that's what I'm taking from it, because we have to. I want him to.
I see.
I still want to see them do like missions, kind of like how they kicked the series off. Maybe do a little more spy. I know it's hard to do spy work when you're in that loud suit, but do some just kind of maybe do some more military stuff with that. I'm cool with Bucky not being, the captain. I like him keeping the name Winter Soldier because I think it's cold, honestly. Just think it fits, and he done ran the score up with enough murders that he earned the Winter Soldier name. Don't try to change him up. Let him be Winter Soldier. He got to live with that forever. But I'm just kind of less interested in his kind of mental state. I just want to see him like, I'm good, kick ass, fight people, and be right there. Let him be the sidekick, and let him help out. Let him have fun. I just want to, and also want to see them maybe kind of run afoul of whatever Contessa is doing in a long game. Maybe they think they work together. Maybe Sharon throws them off a little bit. I want to see some more of the tentacles of whoever's next, and Power Broker Inc. or the Power Broker maybe get in their way a little bit. And you know what? As much as we clown the man, whether John Walker's antagonist or friend, keep bringing him back and let him do something stupid each time. Let him get his butt kicked. Let him get some victories, because he's going to be pushing the envelope to try to do what he got to do. So, and also give his wife a goddamn personality if you're going to keep her around. Like, she's like,
she was sitting around like a purse. Oh my gosh, she was just there as an additive.
So pointless. And I would, look, man, if you're going to get that man's sister to be his wife, give her a personality and let her interact with, her husband as like that she matters.
Oh,
no, man.
It sounds like
bruh. Like what? You know what? And bring back Lamar's sister. Have Lamar's sister eat into John Walker's, ego if he got to go back there. But ultimately, I want more of the same, maybe a little darker, but keep it moving, man. Keep it moving, and let it be Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just keep it going. Let's do it.
There ain't nothing quick with this panel.
And you know what?
Why do you think they introduced Photon,
that
bro?
man Luke Cage is getting a lot of coffee.
Let them date a woman from New Orleans. All right? They're going to be on the strip boat. They're going to have all these parties. Let them date a sister back home.
You know what? So I'm shipping Sam and Ao. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well.
I'm only against it because I can't ship
from America.
and AO. That's all I'm saying.
That would be nice, but I don't think AO interested. I don't think she cares.
Hey, Maria Rambeau showed up. We got her now.
And don't get me wrong, that'd be a cool little romantic thing. Like
I'll
making your dinner move or be moved.
And she's from New Orleans too. You can do it.
Hopefully
she's got powers. She would break him in half.
Man, look, bro, I was about to say something, but this is a kid show. I can't say it because it was a reaction.
Oh,
you can figure it out. But look, I'm just saying.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Antoine Allen said he couldn't hear me. Sorry, so I'll reiterate real quick. Sorry, apologies. So basically, Fatima said, "Can Sam get a romantic love interest?" And I said, "Yes." I'm tired. We talked, Jason and I think Clement and I, and maybe some other people said that usually when it comes to like speculative fiction, sci-fi, stuff like that, you have these heroes or these black men that are like asexual. Other people are like married, got girlfriends or something, but for some reason, like the black man is like, he's not interested in nobody, man or woman. He ain't interested in nobody. He's just around floating. So yes, it would be nice for him to have a love interest. But outside of that,
ooh, let's skip Sam and Gamora.
Oh hell no!
Hold on. But besides that, besides that, I want to see.
She don't date black men. Remember, she don't date black men.
Don't. We ain't going there. We ain't got time to deal with that.
Black man.
We ain't got time. We ain't got time to deal with that.
She'll never go back.
we ain't got no time to deal with that. But on the real, besides this, I do like their relationship, meaning Sam and Bucky. I do like the relationship, and I wouldn't be mad at seeing them with Zemo again. Like I kind of like the trio. I know it's a bad trio. Like them together, something bad's gonna happen, but I actually kind of liked it. Like I'm not against it.
I liked it, but if they're gonna add a third member to that team, I'm not joking. I'm thinking Ant-Man. I think those three would have some real interesting stories.
I think
just because of the chemistry between Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, and Paul Rudd fits anywhere. So seriously, I think that would be a good addition. But
then again,
Antoine Allen's stupid.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. So,
but yeah, go on and sign off. Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, y'all can find me Monday through Friday. On twitch.tv/BID_P. We live stream about games, nerd culture, cosplay, life, and all that jazz. We are a kid-friendly show, so if you come in, just kind of leave the 4-letter words on the porch and then hit me up on Tuesday for the meeting at the docks where we talk about all the real stuff. But so with that, I want to thank you guys. And again, seriously, NERDSoul, thank you for having me on the show again. But yeah, I got to get a jacket and get back to the work that I was doing before. And yeah, it's real good to see you guys again. And
Good to
like I
see you,
said,
man.
if anybody tells you guys that you can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, you just tell them to take any of them cards and put them back in the deck. All right. So thank you guys. I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, and I'm out.
Peace. All right, so with that said, I'll rotate. You know what? I'll rotate to the hidden one. Coop, tell people where they can find you.
Man, I'm hidden in the village, hidden in the shrimp boat in the ocean. But anyway, little Naruto thing there. RJ got
Yeah,
it.
I got you.
But,
I,
but y'all can find me at
ain't nobody tripping on Naruto no more, man.
Oh, bro, I'm just, oh man, give me some break, bro. Give me
It's an amazing series. I'm just not finishing it.
But
Oh,
no,
see,
for
you're just
real,
finishing it, so you're like, see, I finished it in the ending. I'm not mad at the ending. I'm just mad at what I'm hearing from like Baruto and stuff. I'm just like, I'm glad I ain't watching. But
let's
anyway,
not
sorry,
mention.
Mr. Cooper, go ahead.
Sorry, let's not mention Boruto. But it kind of sucks. But I love it though. I still watch it.
I'm not
But
there yet, so I don't know. I'm
you don't need
still
to
on
be.
the high of Naruto.
Don't worry about it. You got time. You can skip a lot. But catch me at www.blerd-ish.com. That's www.blurs.com. Sales going on right now. Merch sale every week in April. The sale for merch always come back at least once or twice each month. Of course, it's National Small Bookstore Day. I sell comics. I sell books. Grab some from various Black creators out there in the world. And of course, check out the podcast. And if you're running, jogging, doing stuff, and you want to hear our voices, this will more than likely will be on the Blurtish podcast as well. We're probably gonna do about 2 or 3 versions of this one to wrap it up. Giff already threatened me that he gonna come and do an episode. He said I better be on the episode. I said, all right, Giff. I ain't mess with that, brother. I don't want him to whoop me. But that's okay. Shout out to the homie Mark. We got a lot going on, and just man, just been a crazy week. And just shout out to y'all brothers for doing this.
What up? What up? All right, RJ, where can they find you?
All right, you can find me at RJ The Nerdy Brew on YouTube. That is my channel. We're on our way. We're 4 away from 1,000 subs. We're doing $50 giveaway to one of our subscribers for coming along. You got to let us know. And you could also find me on Instagram at RJ Nerdy Brew 315. And once again, Mike, thank you so much for having me on. I always enjoy myself, and I love our camaraderie, and I have a great time. So thank you again.
What up? What up? You know what I'm saying? It's all good to have y'all through. It's good actually because I know schedules is crazy. And last but not least, you know what I'm saying? You know this guy. You gonna see him tomorrow, and we got things to talk about tomorrow because this guy he knows things and he has all the knowledge of Invincible in his mind.
I love it.
But Nate, what's up, man? Tell them where they can find you.
You guys can find me everywhere at Dog Like Nate. I've got some stuff coming up. I'm too tired to plug it. I worked this morning, but this was super fun. I really like doing these. I like being able to kind of hear how other people interpret this stuff, and especially when a show like this, that's dealing with issues that I think we all relate to on a personal level outside of just being like comic book fans. So yeah, I'm always happy to be a part of these discussions. Thanks for having me, bro.
Well said.
Of course, NERD SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. But if you hit that thumbs down, I'm gonna send the U.S. government after you. All right.
Now we're saying Zemo after you.
Well, Zemo, he too busy at the raft. But maybe the butler. The butler can roll through. He can roll through with a candlestick. So, man. So say peace. So everybody in the chat, from Jenna to Antoine to Fatima to Pim Griffey, all y'all. There's a whole bunch of names, so I apologize. It's not on purpose.
Marvel Comics. Yeah,
Marvel Comics. But shout out to y'all too, because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. You know
yo, shout out to Malcolm Spellman, man. Yo, Malcolm Spellman for being the show.
Yeah, he put this one together, and I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling it. So we're gonna leave y'all with some dope music from us. You were saying, peace. We out. Give them a woo. Showing the power of the woo. That's right. Wu-Tang is for the children.
What a powerful movie.
Yeah. I'm the man, yes sir, that killed a bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from Hunger.